Sure, hop in. Where are we going?
We're going to Big Tony's Pirate Bay.
You got the coordinates?
I assume she would, so yes.
I don't know. Give me mine at academics. I know you're good for it. Considering that you didn't fly yourself there, that's the only reason why I'm asking. One success, and you're not a pilot, so no. Tell you what, I know where I can get Big Tony's coordinates from, but it's gonna cost you.
Well, what else do you need?
3 notes.
Can't help you there, good sir.
You can't help me there? Seems
Well,
like you're the one that needs help.
how about the bullets for that gun?
Nah, plenty of bullets everywhere. Bullets, cheapest thing in the solar system.
How about this batch of chemicals? I've got a chemical spare.
We make chemicals. I don't need more chemicals. Oh wait, you said chemical spare? That's
Yeah,
different.
those
Hold
usually
on.
cost 5 notes.
Yeah, that's... Sure. Hand it over.
She'll give it up.
Alright. Hop in. We're right on our way.
All right, she gets in there.
Alright. And as the shuttle lifts off out of the bay, we'll go back to Mvala.
Hello.
Alright, you were on the run before.
Yeah.
Did you have a plan to where you wanted to go?
Well, I've had 3 days, and I knew I was a wanted criminal, so I'm assuming that I had been looking for opportunities for an escape route.
Makes sense.
I mean, I've had 3 days, so been studying the station. Problem is, I'm not a very good criminal, um, because I don't actually have any streetwise or
Give
anything like
me
that.
a roll to cover the previous days looking for an out. Of mind, observation. Can you suggest anything else that you might have that would aid you in finding a way
Oh,
away from this?
questioning, definitely.
Okay, questioning. Throw that in there.
I don't have any questioning. I mean, I think it would help, but I don't have it.
I share this feeling with you.
Um, well, I gotta be honest. I did say I'm not a very good criminal.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you did the easy part of the crime, which is the crime.
Yeah. Now, my character is well aware of her limitations, so I'm just gonna have to find a place to hide out.
Well, I mean, the obvious does jump out
Yeah.
at you at least. That hey, I work, I work in a place where ships come and go all the time. I might not know how to get on a ship or how to stow away on a ship, but ships do come and go here all the time.
Actually, stowing away on a ship I could do. The real question is which ship to stow away on.
Well, I mean that is at your job site, so you
Yeah.
do know where the ships are.
Right. The problem is I'd have to, like, which one would I pick? Because I don't want to, I mean, obviously I don't want to pick a garbage scow going somewhere, but I don't have any friends or any contacts. I don't know those people who are going to kill me. And yeah, I mean, how large is this station?
About the size of a city.
Yeah, so there's got to be, if it's city size, there's got to be, like, the bad side of the station or places to lay low. The problem is I don't know where those are. So, and apparently after rolling, I still don't. So yeah, I guess you're right. Since I didn't make the roll, probably getting off the station is probably the best bet. Well, okay, so there. I assume that we work on lower cargo vessels, which then wait for the larger, giant Carillion ships that come in. Like every week or so for the so we ship from here to those ships because those ships usually teleport in and teleport out and don't spend a lot of time moving around. We use smaller
No,
ships to deal with those.
Rondo
Oh,
capable
that's right.
ships don't. Well, they exist, but they don't exist for the larger scale. Rondo
Sorry,
ships might be used for emergency scenarios or by the very rich, but by and large, not seen by anybody.
I forgot that we're mostly interplanetary. We're mostly a system here. Okay. Well, then I guess I would have to find a ship where I could easily just blend in with the crew. Because I understand that having racks work the cargo bay makes sense, but I don't know if there's any ships where I could sneak aboard and become an undocumented crewman.
Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, wrong notepad. Okay. In the your experiences over the last 3 days working ships, you know that there is. Oh, sorry, wrong note again. Sorry, I just got to bring up the list of locations with the ships that are going there. All right, you have the Celestial Enterprise is currently docked. It is a freighter.
Mm-hmm.
It is currently bound for Turvis. It is making a stop over here from Utvis. There is, let's see, the Stellar Sovereign, which is going in the opposite direction. It's on its way to Nefva from Sinkva.
Now, Turvis is one of the gas giants, right?
No. It's one of the inner system planets. It is known for its mining operations.
Okay, and what's the other one?
The one that's heading outwards, it's heading towards Nefva.
Yeah, what's Neffa?
Neffa is the most outer planet. It is notoriously the home for the synthetic hive, since not well regarded in the system.
So not that one. Because synths also have a tendency to like life support. What's that?
Fair enough.
Oh, you mean yes? We've evacuated all moisture so we don't rust and air. Sure.
All right, and there are a couple of oh shoot, what do you call them? Tankers. A couple of tanker vessels headed specifically from here to Utvis.
And which one's Utvis?
Second to last planet in the system. It's the ice world.
Okay, but they don't do gas refining there, do they?
No, that's the Elver cities there, plus Ice Base Delta, which is the one of the many ways to get to the Elver city, which is very deep beneath the ice. Is that they have these giant boreholes dug into the ice, and they have cities built around the. Locations built around the boreholes.
Well, I rolled a 2 and a 1, so I would rule out the synth world because blending in there would be impossible, if not hostile. So I would probably go on one of the other two ships. I guess it's a question of opportunity then, because I didn't roll well enough to know which one is better. So I'm gonna have to break into one of the ships and hide the crew compartment.
Well, let's see. Again, you've worked around these vessels for the last couple of days. You might not have a lot of experience knowing anything specifically about what they're doing, where they're going, and all that jazz. The Turvis one would have a larger. I'm just going to give you the options here since you've negated one of them and there's only two left, so that you can make a choice based on available information. The Turvis one will have more space to hide in, given that it's hurling cargo. They'll both equally have about as much people on them as they're both hauling like large amounts of cargo. But the one heading to Utvis is going to have less space to hide in because most of its cargo is in liquid or gas form.
Right, bigger ship it is. So the one in Turpus. That's the Celestial Enterprise.
Okay.
I will sneak into the crew compartment of the ship and find a place to hide.
Do you have any ability to sneak into a ship and hide?
Yes, I do. I have Craft, the ability to disable locks, and I have Evasion, the ability to not be seen. And I have Athletics, the ability to climb around.
Okay.
Oh, and Transport, the ability to know my way around vehicles.
Fair enough.
I mean, what I am missing, so I have good vehicle skills and craft skills. What I don't have is streetwise. So yes, leading on a ship makes more sense.
But still, your primary method of getting aboard the ship is to be sneaking on, and then when you're there, to hide like a stowaway, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, give me a roll of speed and evasion, and any benefits you might have, just to see if we can figure a way to get you on that ship.
I assume I don't have time to rest because I'm on the run.
Well, actually, first give me a minus speed and evasion. We'll see if we can get you a rest in there. Based on that, see if you can find a place to hide on the station where they won't find you.
One success.
So no, you don't have time to hide.
That's fine.
I feel I can say without any threat that you're not going to think I'm throwing it out there that they would find you
No,
with one.
it makes sense. I'm on the run. It's furtive.
Okay, so you get back to the loading bays.
Yep.
And
Constantly on the lookout for people on the lookout for me.
Right, and you attempt to make your way onto the Celestial Enterprise. Yeah, he spent some time on that, you can tell.
So yes, I sneak aboard.
Right, with your one success carrying over. You can see that at one point you almost get caught. That
Right.
you're crawling along the hall, trying to get into a port that you don't think anybody is watching, when one of the workers on the ship is passing by, and it seems as though you're almost about to get caught. When a person moving along the unloading side of the station catches their gaze, waves at them, they look down at them, and you can notice for a moment that it is Fatha as she's looking up at you at the same
That's
time.
when you have to go hide. It's like, oh no, they might spot me. Hey, I'm looking for this person. You see him? No, I haven't seen him. I'm just watching them from the darkness.
But it's enough of a distraction that it also allows you to, ironically, sneak into the ship.
She's still looking for me. Yeah, see, it's also bothering me that she might have actually wanted to get a piece of the formula and might have actually wanted to sell it, but I don't know that's what she wants. The fact that I think she's working for the police, nope, I'm not. Not only did I murder someone, I abandoned my contract. I'm not sure which is a worse crime. So, yep, I'll wait till they go and then sneak aboard the ship.
All right. And as I've said, the Celestial, sorry, my throat. Jesus.
Celestial Enterprise.
Yeah, Celestial Enterprise. No, I've got this giant list. I just keep switching back between notepads, and then in the middle, I've forgotten what I've said. The Celestial Enterprise is mostly small crew compartment vessel, and everything else is held in the back with these giant cargo bays full of boxes of various sizes and shapes of both material goods and devices, and boring drills and all these sorts of things.
And we do industrial hauling, so that's not going to have the cargo bay is not going to have life support.
Right. Which means, again, it's going to be a small area to hide in unless you can figure out a way to, I don't know, redirect life support into a small area. Some crazy thing that only a stupid person would want to do.
No,
I'm
I
joking.
picked a large cargo bay. No, I mean that's not out of possibility, but that's not, I'm not. Um, that would be funny to describe. I don't know what you call it, human tracking. I guess you call it like sentient trafficking or whatever. That would be funny to find the crew compartment where they're doing the sentient trafficking and sneak into there. But and I don't know why I said that's funny. That's actually horrible and wrong.
I mean, it is horrible. It's the what I can't remember what episodes of what shows it's on, but where they
Well,
open up
does
the
any-
cart, they open up the storage container, and it's full of like mostly dead people because
Yeah, mostly
they haven't been
'cause-
taken care of along the trip because it's just human trafficking.
Well, it's crime. You abandoned it. Does anyone here play Elite Dangerous?
I gave up.
I've only like briefly touched it. It's hard to get into.
I couldn't land a
Okay,
ship
'cause-
in the bay. The first thing you got to do, so I failed. I don't like the game.
I don't like it. Okay, because I know in previous versions of Elite, because I played the older one, you could have illegal cargoes, and one illegal cargo was just slaves. It just says slaves, and you just traffic in it. I don't know. Did they edit that out of Elite Dangerous? I don't know. I'm guessing yes. Okay, so no, unless there's an obvious and even then, you're right. That's also like the first thing you drop. Like, hello, we're the police. Oops.
Well,
So,
I mean, ironically, if you've read the setting material, you're more likely to get slaves coming from Turvis than going to Turvis. So
no,
it seems
that
unlikely.
also- yeah, that makes more sense. So, no, I'll find a place to hide in the crew. The ship is large enough that there might actually be some place to hide. And my real goal is to try and lay low. I don't have low profile, but I do have team player, and I do have enough skills so that I could pretend to be part of the crew complement. And I'm assuming it's a large enough ship that I might not be immediately recognized.
Well, let us see here. You are on Satphum heading to Turvis. That is not as long as I thought it would take. The problem that I've been going for here is that when I calculate distances for, say, Griffin's travels, he's on the furthest planet from the sun, which means that at most he's going to take him 15 days to get anywhere. You are 3 planets in, which is considerably closer. You can reach some places faster than everybody else can. Well, except for Arcloid, because he's closer to the systems than you are. Let's see, Turvis. You are going to have to spend 10 to 6 days, depending on how good their pilot is, to reach your destination.
Oakley dokley.
Okay. I think we're going to pause on you again,
Okay.
so that we can then determine what happens during your trip to Turvis, since you've got quite a range of days to cover of pretending to be a crew member on a ship.
That's what you do when you're wanted for murder.
Yeah.
I did kill my wife!
Well, I'll deny everything, but I did do it.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even tell your best friend what you did.
It's one of my lines from one of my favorite science fiction novels, which is the line is, "That's a dangerous rumor to start," because it's true.
Well, I mean, all lies have a hint of truth in them.
No, that's not true.
Which is
It's
the
just
truth.
no smoke without a fire, I know. But I just love the way they just say that in the story. It's like, it's a dangerous rumor to start, because it's true.
Alright, we're going to go back to J0-11.
Oh boy.
I believe you were activating your flashlight and getting out of your seatbelt and out of your chair to determine the state of your ship.
Right, state of my ship and where exactly I have crashed.
Into the side of a ravine. I thought I was fairly clear about that.
Oh yes. Well, I mean, but like, what else is around me in the ravine? Because there is a thing that can shoot giant, green lasers at me that destroy electronics.
It was more like a rather large ball of, say, electromagnetic encapsulated
Right,
energy.
more like ball lightning, but it still shot at me, and that's dangerous.
That is true. That is dangerous. It's elite dangerous.
Ooh. Okay.
Plug. Sponsored by. Though I say it's true, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll have free swag for the game I don't play. Anyway. Alright, so you get out of your chair. The bulkhead behind you, still there. There's a doorway in it. What do you want to do?
Well, I think as we've covered, the airlock door is gone, so I just need to step outside.
Well, no, I mean the... Yeah, sure. Alright, you step outside. The ship is a wreck.
Joy.
Doesn't take much to step outside. Whole sections of the wall are missing.
Well, that's convenient. I'm definitely not at the bottom of the ravine, right?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
You hit the side of the ravine, and the whole ship tumbled down to the bottom. The planet has a minimal gravity field, but it is enough to slowly pull things down into it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, well, on all this information, I'm at the bottom, and whatever shot at me came from below, so there should be something else here.
Everything you said just checks out. It's true. It's true. There should be something here.
But I don't see it, do I?
No, because you might recall that the shots came from further down the ravine.
Oh, okay. So when I said if I was at the bottom of the ravine, and you said yes, that wasn't true.
No, I said it was true. I said you were at the bottom of the ravine. I even described how gravity carries things down towards the planet, even though it's a lesser gravimetric field. When I say further... What's that?
I feel confused now. When you say further down, what do you mean?
When I mean further down, I mean ahead or behind. I don't mean lower or higher. I understand it's a difficulty because I'm describing things in 3 dimensions, but using the same terminology
ahead
for
and
both.
behind would have been better then. So I got shot from behind or in front then?
You got shot from... I'm sorry. The Warcraft 3 player in me wants to say from behind, but you got shot from the front.
From the front.
Yes, they did not come from behind.
Alright, so whatever shot me is then higher up in the ravine now.
No, I'm sorry. Here, I'm going to draw you something.
Okay, here we go.
Let's see. We have a map that I'm not using. Well, fuck it. We'll just draw on this. I'm looking right here.
Okay.
Let's see. White. I need white.
Zoom in on that a little bit.
No, I'm not drawing it. Apparently my thing is being super slow about just selecting a color. Like, I click it, nothing happens. Oh, then it goes, and then color palette, I select white. And then nothing happens. There we go. Okay. Okay, you're looking at something like that.
Okay, yeah. So that's the ravine.
Right. And you are, like, right here, at the bottom of the ravine. But then, the ravine is also, like, this is from, like, a top-down perspective. Now, from a forwards perspective, you are, like, I don't know how to draw a ravine in forwards perspective. You are, like, right here. Does that make any sense?
Alright, so I think you're... So... You said the left one is the top-down view.
Yes.
And so this one then would be an up and down view. Okay, so I'm halfway down the ravine, but at the edge of it.
No, that doesn't represent the absolute limits to the ravine. That just represents that you are in the bottom of the ravine. There's forwards and there's backwards left to go. The shot came from forwards. You were at the bottom of the ravine. The shot came from in front of you. I feel like I'm going to have to make a 3D model.
Alright, so... Let's obviate the directions, because
okay,
getting
Luke.
very confused.
Okay,
so
wait, Griffin.
I'm going to try to head towards it. What do I have to do?
Okay, Luke, you're flying down the Death Star trench. You got me? Ahead of you somewhere.
That doesn't matter.
Ahead of you somewhere is a bomb port. Okay?
If I want to go to it, what do I have to do?
Walk.
Right now.
I mean, unless you have some other way to get there.
I missed the first half of that.
I said walk. W-A-L-K.
Okay. Yeah, I can just walk there. I'm fine with walking.
You have 6 hours of oxygen left. Again, unless you do something to mitigate your oxygen loss. I don't know,
I
stop
guess I could
breathing.
always take like a 5-minute break to stop hurting first, and just like patch up my wound, or put my hand on it and wait,
Yeah, I
and then
mean,
start walking.
really, how you gonna patch up your wound when you have no atmosphere outside of
I
yourself?
How did I do it before? I just waited for it to what's the word for when it like clots up? I guess there you go. It
I guess
clots
the
up.
word is clots. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I wait for it to clot up for a little bit.
Yeah, I guess you just get a breather in. Use up more of that precious oxygen, that life-giving oxygen that you need.
Absolutely. I don't need it. I'm a strong, independent Towser. So, yeah. I wait a little bit for it to clot up, and then head towards danger by walking at it.
Okay. And how long would you walk until you stopped walking? Say, if you didn't find anything. Say we're playing a gambling game here, Griffin. Say that I'm asking you how much are you willing to bet you'll find something before you stop. How much of your oxygen, hours of your oxygen, are you willing to gamble?
Well, my entire life depends on finding this thing and getting inside of what I hope is an oxygenated environment.
So all of it is what you're saying. You're going all in.
I don't see any other option right now.
All right, we're going all in on the first deal.
All right, let's see if I can find this weapon thing then.
Right, one sec. Pulling up the other thing. Okay. Give me a roll of mind and observation.
Oh boy, the skill I still don't have. All right, so I do have a D6. And I suppose I will probably end up declaring personality afterwards, as I have nothing else backing it up. One success, is that enough?
Yes. After about 2 hours, which, by the way, math nerds among us might realize means you only have 5 hours of oxygen left, you will find that I'm choking. All right, you will find that there is a rather boxish carved out portion of the ravine dead ahead of you. It is completely dark, but you can see that there are various destroyed craft that seem to litter the bottom of the ravine along the path towards it, as well as impact
Oof.
craters along the side of the ravine.
I don't suppose on casual observation some are better off than others.
Well, I mean, of course some are better off than others. Are they all destroyed, though? Yes.
Okay, cool.
It's like, is the fuselage from Lost better off than the parts of the plane that are destroyed? Yes, technically.
Well,
But it's
if
also
I end up
like,
finding enough air down here, maybe I'll learn enough to craft and make some of them flyable again. Let's figure out what happens next.
yeah, that'd be neat.
But you said boxes construction.
Yep. And I assume you head closer to it with every passing second, yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, just interrupt me if you decide to stop and not go any further.
Gotcha.
You see there is at least one shuttle parked in the landing bay, with a humanoid corpse setting beside it, with its helmet removed.
That's extra weird. I want to get closer so I can perhaps identify the body. Does it look like one of the keepers?
I mean, it looks mummified.
That's right, but presumably if it has a suit, does the suit have like a symbol on it or anything?
It,
Does it look like the scientist? Does it look like the suit that I've stolen that I'm wearing right now?
that is a fair point. Give me 1 second, because it does have a symbol on it. The symbol is a circle that seems to have a pyramid in the center of it, with a crown on top of the pyramid.
Would I know well enough to know exactly what that symbol is? Because I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
You ought to. You've seen it every day of your life for the last, 10 years?
Yep. Alright, so that at least confirms my initial suspicion. This is in fact a keeper who has a shuttle here and parked next to this box. Before I deal with the box,
No, it's in it. And again, it's sorry, it's a box like carve out. It's like
Okay, so I'm looking into a box-shaped indentation then.
right, yeah. Sorry, I didn't describe it well enough, I guess.
That is fine. Okay. But yeah, so I
And
suppose I've gotten down into it then.
right, because the shuttle is inside of it. This guy is sitting next to it or back leaning against it, mummified face because his helmet is taken off at some point.
Hmm. I don't know why he would do that, but I mean, he does have a perfectly good shuttle next to him, so I may as well check that out next.
All right, you check out the shuttle. The shuttle's door is open,
Hmm.
exposing it to space, of course.
Right. So I will walk into the shuttle.
Okay, you walk into the shuttle. You are jumped by nothing.
Gasp.
Yes, the nothing from the never-ending story attacks you.
So spooky, especially considering there's nothing everywhere.
Nothing is the thing I'm most afraid of.
These big, strong leitmotifs. They couldn't stop it. Uh, but okay, so I'm on the shuttle, and I'm going to basically check out its condition. Does it look like it's been crashed at all? Does it look like it still has fuel and oxygen, power?
It is apparently powered down, so you would have to start it up in order to check on any of those questions you've asked. It doesn't look damaged.
Okay. I could only presume that if it managed to land safely down here into this indentation, that it won't get shot if it just turns on. That is the only assumption I can make.
That is, in fact, an assumption you can make.
This is true. So I will go ahead and turn it on and at least be wary of anything that might be charging up at it to shoot it and destroy my only chance of escape.
Alright, you turn it on, and nothing happens. I mean, it turns on. I'll say
Okay.
that. It turns on, but nothing else happens to it.
Okay, good. So I'm going to check the system status on it.
It has fuel. All systems are operational except for life support. And apparently it ran out of life support systems some time ago.
Oh, that's definitely not good for me. And that guy without the helmet probably doesn't have any left either.
Do you want to go out there and check?
I can definitely go back out there. I'm going to go ahead and power down the ship again real quick. I'm not taking it off yet.
Okay.
But I guess real quick, is this shuttle interplanetary?
No, it is completely planetary.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I suppose I'm walking back off the ship and I'm checking out this guy to see if he has any oxygen left.
Alright. You check his pack and everything on him. It seems like he has an hour's left oxygen in his,
Okay.
The containers.
So I suppose I can go ahead and take his container and, have 6 hours left then.
Reasonable.
Okay. I don't suppose he has anything else interesting on him, does he? Like notes or, like a journal detailing all of his final moments?
You find one note. It details the start of one day, but then kind of trails off, like he might have written more.
Ah, dang it, I'll have to find the other note pieces scattered around here. So now the obvious question, why this indentation? Is there some sort of door around here, or base? Is there a structure?
Well, now that
Does it
you're
go
in
deeper?
the darkness of the indentation, you can see that there seems to be a tunnel at the back of the indentation that extends deeper, and it seems to go... Sorry, using the same terminology that confused you before. It seems to go further into the indentation, but then it also goes deeper, as in it goes down.
Alright. Well, this looks like my only chance unless I can, find and disable this weapon. And I'm going to bet that this thing here probably has something to do with it. So I'm going to go down that tunnel.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked you the first time that when you were walking down the ravine. If you were to gamble on your supply of oxygen, how many hours you would walk before you stopped, how much would you gamble? Suppose this is
Good
Final
question.
Jeopardy.
Well, I got 6 hours. If I said 3, then I'm already past the point of return. I get 3, and I walk back to the
Well,
spaceship.
if you're at 6, you're
Or,
literally at the point of return.
well, yeah. Well, that's my point. I'd be just about running out at that point. Get onto the shuttle, and then go. Well, I have just about enough air to get nowhere, and then suffocate to death.
Yes.
So 2 would be the safe assumption, but the question is, how deep does this go? This guy didn't have any indication of it.
He did not.
I have a survey bonus.
Weird thing to
Are there
declare.
any? That is true. I do keep forgetting I actually have it, and I should use it more often. Uh, thanks, spacesuit. But I would like to try to use that to maybe determine how far does the tunnel go, and if there's anything at the end of it.
I'm sorry, give me 1 sec. Loud horn outside my window means somebody is outside and I need to go check.
Oh boy.
So now it's dead air. This is a weird but exciting story.
Right, I am constantly in danger.
I'm
I
in
have
danger.
not been outside of a life-threatening situation since the start of the campaign.
I've committed a crime and it's turned into a cascade that's changed my entire life.
Meanwhile, Arcloyd's Yatana is just, being the worst pirate ever.
I know, right? I'm sorry about that. I suck. But now
I
she's
would
gonna
take
go kick Noxie's ass.
I would
Good.
take being the worst pirate ever over being a fugitive.
Yeah, so now I gotta go kill Noxie, it seems. That's gonna be fun. Rocket fuel does melt sinks just as easily as it carbonizes organics.
Yup. The Howl of the Towsers in this house. But yeah, I'm just wondering, like, when we'll have the heat off of us. And that'll be interesting to, see what happens next. How deep into the crime is Avala gonna go?
Elbow deep.
History is written. Yeah, history is written by winners.
Well, there's a saying that I go by: "True love is elbow deep." So you just gotta go for everything.
I'll remember that before our first date.
I'm just wondering how my character's gonna react to not being in a constant panic.
Join me and we can do crimes together.
I'm also highly considering getting some craft just to solve half of my problems, but I also need observation to solve the other half of them.
And you need oxygen to solve the rest.
Yeah, see, that's why I like I do like the rank system where you can spend 4 points to just buy a D4 and something.
Yeah. I did it for transport this time, and it's nice to have an extra degree away from failure, so. But getting some crafting might help, but I'm not too smart. Getting some observation might help, but I'm still not very smart. I've been considering getting fighting, but I already have shooting, and I'm basically using my lead motif for combat anyway. Towsers have some interesting fighting options.
Yeah, you'd make a better brawler than even Joser did.
The thing is, like, they aren't cumulative, so it's a choice between magnetics or tooth and claw, basically.
Magnetic sounds more useful, especially for your current situation.
Right, where magnetics also gives me a whole lot of extra abilities on top of it. So it's utility climbing, it's extrasensory communication, and it's also additional damage, which I think applies vulnerable, if I'm right.
I believe you're right.
So if I get good at punching and I have magnetics, then I can combine that with the vulnerability of the lead motif.
Well, vulnerable is a bad status. It doesn't stack.
Right, but I can cause it with one and then have finishing on the other.
Right.
Finish things off.
Finishing is +2 damage if the target's hurt, injured, or most notably vulnerable, and you can just like tag people with the vulnerable status, even if you can't hurt them.
More specifically, it's also penetrating and knockdown, and those are also interesting.
Yeah, it means it ignores armor.
Yes, which normally you can't do with brawling, so it's great. What's up, little puppy? What do you want?
Yeah, originally in
Are you
like
done
the
barking
playthrough,
and everything?
some people were complaining that brawling didn't do enough damage,
Mm-hmm.
and but I didn't want to just raise the damage because if you just like make brawling do more, it just becomes a weapon. And one of our goals in the design process was we don't just want to have bigger numbers. If you just have bigger numbers, everything's the same. So that's why there's brawling finish, which adds finishing. That's actually where finishing came from. We said, well, okay, we're sympathetic to the idea that you should be able to, defeat people with brawling, but we didn't want to make it just, you walk up and punch through steel walls or, one-shot people in full armor.
Right.
That just, we're starting to get a little weird. So brawling finish came out of that because originally it was like an exclusive move to brawling, and then we put finishing on a bunch of other stuff. And then what is it, like brawling action or brawling? Man, but
Advantage?
Brawling advantage. Thank you. It starts with an A. Brawling advantage, which is the other gift that says you get an extra action as long as it's a brawling attack, and that one I think makes it really shine because then brawling means you can take more actions rather than it's just a bigger attack. And so it feels a lot more like the freeform martial arts because you can guard, aim, and punch, or you can guard, move, and attack. And now you have more actions and more flexibility than necessarily more damage. And that I just
and doing something like giving an extra action to attack for other options would probably be vaguely unbalanceable.
Well, you remember how good I did with
So it's good to like do that with brawling, which is easily contained.
Yeah, that fight we had with those guys with the cybernetic brains, I basically cleaned house on how many guys were around Joser?
There were like a dozen.
I think like 6.
Yeah, and they were stacking up that pack tactics, and I still managed to go through them.
Yeah, that's that one thing I really love about Myriad Song is how it's a sci-fi game with lots of quick turnarounds.
All right, I'm back.
Because that's something we look at.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
Yeah,
I just wanted you to know I can't stay too much longer. I got a 2:00 appointment. And I got some things to take care of before that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're just gonna take care of Griff real quick, and then we're gonna have a cliffhanger with the Arcloid. So
sounds good.
Maybe another 10 minutes, 20 minutes. That work?
And I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
All right. So what were you doing, Griff? I'm sorry, J0.
Oh, right. I was in the middle of trying to use my survey kit to see how deep the tunnel is and what could be interesting at the end of it.
Does your survey kit have something like that?
I just assume a survey kit is perhaps capable of that.
I know usually it's like flashlight or something for your immediate surroundings, not...
I assumed it was like a sensor package of some kind as well.
In this particular instance, you're using the survey kit from a guy's uniform who works on a base. So I'm going to say maybe no on the sensor package to read kilometers ahead of you.
Okay. Well, this thing is still anomalous. And it's also the only thing I have to go on. I can't get into the shuttle without dealing with the weapon. And I have no idea exactly where the weapon is and diminishing oxygen. But if this guy was here with only a shuttle and his suit, I have to assume there's something at the end of the tunnel, and again, I'm gonna go all in.
Alright. So, another 2 hours pass. We're just going to count what's on your current outfit and just note that you have an hour's left on a different tank. So, you're down to...
3 plus 1.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and add that to my status right now.
Alright. So, you've been walking for about a kilometer or so. And the stone carved out walls, not carved out, the stone walls of the tunnel begin to give way, almost like in an immediacy, like they were stone before, and then suddenly they're made of metal of some sort, as though the passageway was carved into some already existing structure.
Ooh, interesting.
And you keep walking, as you already said, you're all in.
Yes, I am.
And you come across what looks to be a large open doorway. I guess I should say archway, in this respect. That opens up into a just wide open chamber. And I'm assuming you just keep on walking, right?
Absolutely. Do not have a second choice.
Alright, walking into this chamber, it appears to, the chamber goes straight up, a kilometer up, to the point where you can't see into the distance. And apparently goes many kilometers down, because again, you look down over, you're like on a bridge that passes between, I'm using the word kilometer multiple times here, but unfortunately it's so big that it goes a kilometer across, and you can see another archway straight across from you. You look up, and it's like a ring shape, circular tunnel going straight up to the point where you can't see where it ends. And if you look over the edge of the bridge, you can look straight down, and it just passes on into darkness. You can't see where it ends. At the same time, there are multiple elevators working up and down the walls around you that have just, they're shining bright with light, but you can't really see, make out any details about them, other than the fact that they're moving up and down the tunnel as well.
Would these lights be implanted, like regular electric lights someone strung up, like on a dig or something?
No. Like, when I'm calling them elevators because they're moving up and down the tunnel, but otherwise that's the only elevator-like aspect of them you can determine, because otherwise they're just bright shining lights that are moving up and down the tunnel.
Okay, so no idea what they are yet.
Yeah, and they don't pass anywhere close to the bridge.
Well, I guess I have to keep crossing the bridge, don't I?
Oh, and my apologies, I said it was a kilometer away. It's actually half of a kilometer away. The other side of the bridge.
Hoofing it. Keep on hoofing it.
Alright, when you reach the other side of the bridge, there is another wide open archway and another tunnel. In the tunnel are a number of other suited figures laying on the ground with large brown, black markings on their chests.
Brown, black markings. Are these scorch marks?
That is a reasonable assumption.
I don't suppose I can do anything to identify them specifically.
I mean, what would you do?
Well, I do have academics. I should have at least some basic understanding of, yeah, this looks like a bullet hole or a scorch mark or lava impacting or warp technology.
Sure. I can allow you just to wrote that. Yeah, looks like a scorch mark. I said reasonable assumption.
Okay. But you said there are a number of them here.
I
And
did.
given that these are bullet wounds, maybe, or well, scorch wounds, maybe they have some oxygen left in their tanks.
You investigate?
I will stop investigate.
They do not.
Dang it. Well, such was my hope. But this does mean that there has to be something this way. So I believe I have to keep going. The spot I was at didn't have any other way it can go, like down or across another bridge.
Well, I
I
mean,
just saw
certainly
one
had
of
a
the
way down, but that's more of a fall than it is a way to go.
Right, right. So, just indicating, then I guess I only have this way to go, with more and more danger becoming obvious.
Yeah, so just let me know if you ever want to commit suicide. I've got the perfect drop for you. Alright, and then we're going to leave you off there to determine what mystery
Okay.
awaits you. We'll go back to Arcloid for a little bit.
All right.
So you got on your ship. You are taking off. I'm saying, you're on your shuttle. You're taking off back toward Big Tony's base. Having paid the your driver one note, a gun, and a chemical
Four and a
spare.
half.
No,
Unless he.
no, he said one note and your gun. He's like, yeah, and he tried to pay. He asked you for 3 notes for the coordinates, and you said no. I have a chemical spare.
All right, fixing my sheet. Thank you for telling me that.
I told you that then too. In my defense.
Well, I didn't hear you. It was my fault.
So yeah, you're heading back towards Big Tony's base.
Yeah, making sure guns chambers are filled, both alpha and beta, because
Right.
she's about to lay down next smackdown on Noxu if she has.
Well, it's a synth. I guess it can identify as a sex if it wants to, but obstinately has none on the exterior. Oh, sorry, my mic seemed to have frozen. Yeah, you're flying through, and as you're approaching the base, you can see that the 2 other vessels that you had previously left behind in the dock are beginning to launch from their moorings.
Both of them.
Both
Shit.
of them. And as you're approaching, obviously they're going to be approaching towards you because there's no relative other directions to go in.
Now, these ships aren't armed, are they?
They are. By design, they'd have to be. They're, attack vessels.
Shoot them down. Shoot them down.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant their ships are. You're in a shuttle.
Oh, so I'm not armed.
Right, no. You're in a transport shuttle. They're in attack vessels made to attack crafts heading through the belt.
Shit.
And that realization on your face is where we are going to end.
All right. I'm going to make a note of this so I don't forget next time.
Yes, don't forget you're about to be in a world of hurt. Alright. I suppose nobody accomplished any goals. That's a given, right?
Undoubtedly.
You have yet to escape Griff. Arcloid has not made a team. In fact, he's probably made a team against him. And Raph is not rich.
Nope.
Alright, how about the mottos?
Fear my power. Well, if anyone has anything to fear, it's definitely me.
And your power. Alright, 1 XP.
Woo!
Next.
Only the first one is free.
The conversation has ended, so it was like, well, time for the conversation ended. I'm out of here. Wow.
Yep, both of you, 1 XP. Alright, any notes, any comments, concerns, questions, etc.?
I suck
Oh.
at being a criminal.
Yeah, I mean, I am biased that I do like this game, but uh, I'm enjoying the fact that we have a certain we're skilled in some arenas but not in others, and I like playing where I'm a character who knows their limitations. And it's like, yeah, sometimes the roles don't pay off. That's what emergent behavior is all about.
Right. Meanwhile, my limitations are definitely showing and kicking me in the knee while I try to run. It is very difficult to get off this planet right now via my circumstances. But I'm getting there, and hopefully whatever weird stuff is at the bottom of this might help me out to some degree. I don't suppose there'd be a goal involved in being down here and whatever weird mystery there is, right?
You know, sure, I can offer you a goal. Discover the mystery of Niffa.
Alright, discover the mystery of Neffa. Adding
We
that
definitely have to
into.
party up with you to discover this, then.
At the same time, Arcloid.
Yes.
Sorry, my mic like kept staying on after I let go of my push to talk, so I thought maybe it was frozen. I will offer you the goal of retake Big Tony's base.
All right. Is that together with put together a new crew?
Yeah. And Rafferty. I guess I will give you the goal of escape custody.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, you're in a bit of your own escape thing. I was interested hearing all the different planets you had as options, and wondering if you were going to end up going to the same ones I was probably going to go to, or that Ark is on. So that was interesting
Well,
listening in, and then you go the exact opposite direction, I think.
I mean, it might have been like that. It could have been GM fate that we went to the same place. The problem is, like, I'm looking at my odds here, and I would probably pick the bigger ship. It's just,
Well, no, actually, technically, I did give you one option, which was the planet he was on, but it was always your option, and you chose to go literally further in system than anybody else is right now. So
yeah. Well, a bigger. The only thing I can think of is a bigger ship is easier to hide on.
well, it's
So,
also the fact that you'd be heading to the planet he's currently on, and his goal is to get away from the planet. So
Right,
eventually,
so I was
you
thinking he would end up on the other one that I was looking on.
Well,
That's
you've
the
never
one.
said what planet you were going to, so I have no idea what planet to
right.
tell.
See, we don't all currently have a unifying goal, and since we don't have a unifying goal, our odds of finding each other are down. If we all had the same goal of find each other, or do the same thing, our paths might naturally converge.
I mean, there are reasons why your paths would converge, but I'm not going to force it. The story might have occur, but you guys could go the entire thing without reading each other if you wanted to. I'm not
I was-
forcing you as the GM to do anything.
Right, but if you did like end up on like Utfus, then that would be the next obvious place for me to end up, and that'd be like, okay, cool, now we have two players together, I think.
Right. But the
But again,
important thing
like,
is
yeah,
that,
your circumstances are you got to go with what's actually successful.
right, and the important thing is that we're all on the same page. That this is the game that we all expect to play.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, I've got some prep to do for my 2 o'clock, so thanks for having me.
All
Thanks
right.
for coming, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh,
for
also
playing.
1 XP for debrief.
Yay! All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Take care, and thank you for running practice.
Yep.